want your pity, said Trixie, turning her nose up and turning to walk off. She can do just fine on her own, she stated, though even her attempts to sound confident failed, as a slight break in her voice revealed she didn't quite believe that herself. Pinky blinked, having just stayed nearby and watched this until something happened. Uh-oh. Ear flop, eye flutter, knee twitch, she said, her body doing the exact actions right as the door swung open and hit Trixie right in the face. A pony threw away some garbage and closed the door, Trixie sliding off like a squashed bug. Ha ha! Rainbow laughed hard at Trixie. Serves you right. Twilight shot Rainbow a glare before trotting over to the dazed Trixie. Twilight peeked back to see Pinky glaring at Rainbow Dash herself. It took a few moments for Twilight to realize why. Discord had broken Pinky by showing her how much it hurt to be laughed at. Trixie, this isn't about pity, Twilight sighed as she reached Trixie, then paused to think of just how to phrase this differently to convince Trixie to let her help. Sure, Trixie didn't seem to want help, but neither did Applejack at Applebuck season. If Twilight hadn't forced the issue, Applejack might have worked herself to death. Sometimes the pony who didn't want help was the one who needed it the most. A thought came to Twilight's head. Think of it as repaying a favor. Trixie shook her head to clear it. And just what did Trixie do for you? She asked, looking at her in confusion. Yeah, what did she ever do for us? Asked Spike, confused as Trixie. You know, besides publicly humiliating our friends, I could decide with Rainbow on this one. Twilight thought out her words carefully. Well, thanks to you, I had my weekly report for Princess Celestia in on time, and you helped me realize I didn't have to hide my talents from my best friends just because I was afraid of how they'd react, Twilight replied. So at least let me return the favor and give you a helping hoof. Yeah, and if you hadn't helped Twilight with that letter, it'd have been really bad last time, started Pinky, only to have Twilight put a hoof over her mouth and blush before the pink pony could reach the embarrassing part of the story. Still, at least she wasn't against her like Rainbow. Princess Celestia? Asked Trixie, eyes widened in shock. Why do you have to send her a weekly report? Twilight is Celestia's personal student, said Spike with a smug smile. And her personal envoy to Ponyville, too, he stated. Trixie's jaw dropped and she pretty much looked like she was about to go into shock. Before Rainbow could say anything, Twilight shot her a glare. If you want, Trixie, you could be the guest of Celestia's personal student in Ponyville. Twilight spoke up before Spike could brag anymore. She hoped appealing to the unicorn's ego would help sway her a bit. Pinky hopped over and got in Trixie's face. Yeah, you could be our guest, she exclaimed. Come on, we'll have so much fun, she stated in her typical rapid tone. I've heard enough of this. I'm going back to Ponyville, by myself. You can let yourself get suckered by this loser if you want to, but leave me out of it, Rainbow in an angry tone before flying off. Seeing she'd not be able to walk or talk some sense into Twilight, and Pinky was too. Well, Pinkie Pie. Trixie looked hurt. I'm not a loser. I'm not a loser, she yelled after Rainbow. It's not my fault those two rotten colts ruined my life, she growled before realizing Rainbow was gone and couldn't hear her. She blushed in embarrassment and turned back to the unicorn and earth ponies staring expectantly at her. So, as your guest, not out of pity towards Trixie, she asked. She had to admit being able to say Princess Celestia's personal student had invited her to be her guest was quite an ego stroke. With how powerful Trixie was during the Ursa attack, Trixie didn't doubt she was telling the truth on that one, and even if she hated to admit it, Twilight had saved her life from that Ursa. So she did owe Twilight. You never hear her say it, but she did have some gratitude for that. I don't know what pity is, but having guests is always really fun. So say yes, said Pinky with an excited smile. I don't know what pity is, but having guests is always really fun. So say yes, said Pinkie Pie with an excited smile. Trixie sighed, giving it deep thought. It'd be nice to sleep on a real bed in a real house after all. Trixie supposes that it'd be better than that cardboard box. Trixie hasn't had a shower in 2 months, she muttered, disgusted with her own appearance. She hadn't had a decent bite since then, either. She was starving. Spike held his nose.
Yeah, we noticed. You smell worse than those rotten diamond dogs,
He stated, not caring about Trixie's feelings after what she did. Twilight angrily glared at Spike. Okay, let's head to Ponyville. I hope you don't mind taking a royal chariot, Twilight asked, leading the way. On a royal chariot? Asked Trixie, eyes wide in shock. She'd get to ride in a royal chariot? Embarrassing circumstances or not, Trixie wasn't about to pass that up. Well, geez, who would? Twi, you sure this is a good idea? Asked Spike. I don't trust Trixie as far as I could throw her. Come on, Spike, she's not that bad, said Twilight calmly. Besides, finding her a job will be a piece of cake with all the nice ponies in Ponyville. She'll be back on her hooves in no time. Oh, what kind of cake? Asked Pinkie, smiling wide. Is it chocolate? Vanilla? Twilight sighed, continuing forwards towards the chariot launching point. Or cherry? Oh wait, blueberry! Well, that was the end of chapter 1. Please, guys, I know I sounded terrible throughout this entire story, but please, no hate comments. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'll be posting the link to Kendall's DeviantArt page and the fanfiction site that he used as well. But please, guys, no hate. I don't want to have to delete comments. Yeah. Anyway, please, wonderful feedback would be really greatly appreciated. Anyway, this was 13 Black Dragon on Chapter 1 of Getting Back on Your Hooves, and I'm out.